Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday to all. Today we're having a discussion on the power of your subconscious mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. We'll be reading or reviewing chapters 6 through 8. The power of your mind. You can transform your life by just having the right mindset. Having the right mindset. Hey, Joy. I just sent you the live. Oh, that's okay. That's okay. You can still stick around and listen. You have a wonderful day too, Joy. Some nice little gems in here. No, it's a long weekend for most of us. Get an extra day off for those who job celebrate Memorial Day. Hey, beautiful risings. Hello, Phoenix. Welcome, welcome. How's everyone doing? How's everyone day going? We're getting a little rain over here on my part of town. All you was at a wedding all day? Beautiful. Oh, but that's okay, Joy. Next week, but you could stay and listen. You still may have something to add once we get to discussing the chapters, because it isn't something we haven't already heard, right? We're very familiar with what he teaches. He's not saying anything that anyone else isn't saying about using your mind to create your reality, about mastering your mind. Hey, A-Town, GG, Benjamin. What up, family? How's everyone doing? Put your requests in if you want to come up in the box. Come up in the box, put your requests in. So we can get this show on the road. Cool, yeah. Because the participation can be within the chat. Because we've been having some really good discussions, really good discussions. Okay, A-Town coming up. Hello.
What's up, T?
Hey, how you doing?
Great.
Hey, how you doing?
Great. How are you?
Yes, I'm wonderful. Awesome.
Absolutely.
How about yourself?
I'm doing fabulous. Excited to definitely come up here and chop it up with y'all. We're on these last few chapters. There's a lot of gems, I'll tell you that.
It is.
Again, I'm just super excited just to be able to be exposed to the information. Because that's all, for me, that's what it always was. When I come to think about it, when they kind of like, speak on forgiveness, when they speak on, revision, all it was different exposure at an impressionable time, and, to lock in certain paradigms or certain programs. But, just knowing that there's freedom, or just knowing that there's other exposure that we can, get exposed to is like super relieving and super grateful.
Most definitely. What's up, God? Hello, hello, hello. So Gigi, Benjamin, y'all coming back up here? Y'all coming to join the box? Phoenix, whoever's in the chat, who's ever read the book.
They ain't ready.
But he said they're not ready. Even if you haven't read the
Yeah.
book, you still may be able to add something to the discussion once we get started, because it'll bring things back to your remembrance. And you've already heard this before. He's maybe just using, different semantics, right? It's just semantics in the way he's delivering this information for us. And here's the thing: we've already been doing these things. We just weren't really, as some people would say, locked in, right? Sometimes our mind wanders, and he's just reminding us how to master that mind and not let it wander so much.
I
All
love
right,
the way they
Benjamin's
broke
coming
down
up.
prayer.
Oh, yes, yes. So I don't remember where everything is. That's why I take notes.
Oh,
That's
do
why I'm
you?
like,
Okay.
okay,
So
so
do you find yourself reading? Do you find yourself going through through an audio? What's your like preference?
reading.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, because I like to copy and paste, and I use my notes on my iPad to
Mm-hmm.
so I can go back and refer to it. I like to, like you said, so many gems, and just
Mm-hmm.
go right back there and just reread it and meditate
Mm-hmm.
on it. You know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I think that's what's gonna assist me because I'm reading to keep up because I got a few book clubs,
Hmm.
but to be able to regurgitate and like you said, just meditate on the thing, like um yeah, like I said, even just knowing what prayer is, just knowing what meditation and what's going on or what should be going on at that particular moment in time,
Yep.
um, you appropriate yourself differently.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hello, Benjamin. Good morning. How are you?
Good
Good
morning, Miss
morning,
Toyia. How are you
Benjamin.
doing?
I'm doing well. Awesome. How about yourself?
Oh, exceptional.
Yes.
How
Yes.
you doing, brother A-Town?
I'm great. And yourself, Benjamin?
All is well and getting greater.
Absolutely. That's wonderful to hear.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful.
Miss Toyia, I was reading through The Power of the Subconscious, and the greatest thing I received was the blueprint.
Nice.
Everything starts with a blueprint, which is planning. And putting a blueprint down and follow the blueprint. And he gave us on prayer how to heal yourself and everything. It is wonderful. And the most thing I've been gathering in my awakening and moving forward is that it's only confirming in us what already is.
Absolutely.
It's just confirmation. They're not telling us nothing different. As you say, Mr. Toya, we've been doing this, but we didn't know what we were doing and how we were doing it.
Hmm.
Now it's confirming that we are able to do it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so we're going to start with chapter 6. So we're almost 10 minutes in. So let's get the party started. I kind of I have a highlight. It's a little. I didn't take the whole context of it, but you can glean from it. It's he stated, "What about your mental home and your mental blueprint?" As Benjamin was referring to earlier, for happiness and abundance. All your experiences and everything that enters into your life depend upon the nature of the mental building blocks which you use in the construction of your mental home. Also, he calls it a home. The Bible refers to it as a garden, right? The
Right.
Edenic state, and he's calling it your home, which is the same thing, right? It's about what are you building, what are you constructing in your mind regarding your abundance and your happiness, and are you thinking, as Philippians will say, right? Whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things
Mhm.
are noble, whatever is virtuous, if there be anything of praise of good report, think on these things, right? That should be your mental construction. That should be how you're building your mental home. So you can enjoy it, right?
Yeah, that's good.
I'm bringing Gigi up. Because it's what
Good
you think
morning.
about, you bring about, right? That's really the simplicity of it. What you think about, you bring about. Hey, 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 Gigi.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, T. How's it going, everyone?
Good morning. Good
All is
morning.
well.
What's up,
All is
Gigi? How are
well.
you?
Yeah, I'm actually near your neck of the woods. I'm in Watertown.
Oh, you Water Tower downtown
Yeah.
Chicago?
I'm in
Oh, okay.
Watertown, Wisconsin. I'm about like an hour from you, T.
Oh, Watertown, Wisconsin. Oh, okay, okay,
Actually, the
nice.
weather's nice too.
Okay, nice, nice. That's where you're spending your holiday.
Yeah. Yeah, my husband went for a hike, and I'm like getting ready. I'm like, oh my god, book club! I forgot.
Okay, yeah. So we're jumping right into chapter 6. I was
Okay.
giving my first little note that I had. I had a few notes from chapter 6, but anyone else want to, add on or speak to the gems that they gathered from chapter 6?
Yeah, I mean, he pretty much is redundant. Like he repeats throughout the book, and he does give examples. But I love that he references prayer and meditation, how important that is. It reminds me of Louise Hay, when Louise Hay would say that everything you say is a prayer. It's a petition.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you have to watch your words. And yeah, it's got like E-Town was saying, it's got gems like crazy.
Yeah, so I want to speak to that. I want to be a little bit more specific when it comes to that. So another highlight where I was the most fundamental and most far-reaching activity in life is that which you build into your mentality every waking hour. Your word is silent and invisible. Nevertheless, it is real. And it reminds you of what the Christ said in the Gospels. These words that I speak, they are spirit and they are life. Your word is the power. Your word is the power. It's the power that transforms.
Yeah.
Whether it's in love or in fear, you're always conjuring in your world.
I like what it says, T, where it even like I think a couple paragraphs before that, or in the blueprint side. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, it was just speaking on how you would watch the material and select only the best wood, steel, the best everything for your home. And I like the point where it correlates your home to your mind, um, and in reality, I've noticed that where people aren't able to sit by themselves in a particular level of silence or peace, like they need to have something going on. Um, and so I always, you'd always see like, okay, why could, what's going on? Why can't they just be, but their mental space isn't in solitude. So that wouldn't be a home per se. Um, And so, even for myself, being able to know, like, okay, what are the patterns that I'm experiencing mentally that I'm allowing to be subconscious? Is it the fear? Is it the worry? So, I loved how it kind of like really depicted, like just scrutinizing every thought that does come about, around our mind to know, to qualify it, to ensure, inspect it, like what they said.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
As you,
Well said.
as you say that, brother, you know, the problem with most of us is that we've been told if we're not doing anything, we're lazy.
Hmm.
So that is always put in our face. You should be busy. You should be busy. You should be busy. But no, when are you going to take time to reflect on what's going on in your life and settle yourself? But the whole thing is that you're lazy. You're not doing anything. And my whole thing now is that I'm working every day. It's my imagination. So
Absolutely.
I'm working. That's my imagination. I'm working. And through that imagination, it becomes my currency for everything in life because my thoughts become things. And when you look at it, as he talked about prayer, as Gigi said, I love it when he said, prayer is not what we've been taught.
Yeah,
Your thoughts are prayers.
exactly.
And most
And
people, if they only understood that, they'll stop begging and pleading and crying and know that your thoughts, your words are prayers. And that is just most interesting to really understand that.
and he's not the only one that has ever said that. Flourishful Wilson talks about prayer. Louise Hay talks about prayer. Um, Neville Goddard does too. There's a whole bunch of people that old school OGs, that wrote these books. Besides Jesus, Jesus also talks about prayer. But yeah, how it's amazing how they all have their own ways of writing it, but they're pretty much all saying the same thing. If that makes sense.
Right. Can I share a story? I believe Neville Goddard wrote it. It was that a priest had a problem in the nation and he was supposed to be praying for the nation, but he said he couldn't get his prayers through. So he said he needed to go to the top, the archbishop or the one in command. So he went up and they asked him, where are you going? He said, I need to meet with the archbishop because the people need help. So they asked him, why is it and you're supposed to be taking care of the people? He said, I've tried and nothing's working. So he said, okay, we're going to take you up to the archbishop. And so when he went on up and he went up into the upper room, as to say, and the archbishop, as he was supposed to be the king of everything. And so he walked in and he was down on his knees, praying, asking and wanting things to happen. And so the priest told him, I thought I was coming to see a king, but I just met a beggar. And he walked out. And that's what we've been doing, begging. We have not been using the power that we have.
That's because we haven't been taught that
No,
either.
we have not.
Understand that there's a lot of things that have been kept secret from us. Certain people know. Certain people kind of come across it in their path. Other people are stubborn and say, "Well, I don't care what you say. This is how it's going to be for me, and that's it." Others question it, question religion. I was one that questioned it, and I was one that if they said, "Oh well, it's what God wants to give you," I would be like, "Nope, I don't think so," because when I hear these preachers talk about God, it doesn't sound like God is saying to me like, "Oh, I'm just going to give you whatever I feel like it." I'm like, "Well, it's my life. You're not going to give me whatever you feel like giving me." So it's something that we're not taught, but we've been doing it this whole time. It's kind of like breathing. There's classes that teach you how to breathe, but you've been breathing your whole life.
Right.
We've been doing it this whole time. We just have not been, like T says, we haven't been aware of it, or we haven't been doing it on purpose. And I like what he says in this chapter, that your subconscious will accept your blueprint, meaning it'll accept what you say. It doesn't judge. T has also said that numerous times here on her TikTok page. It will accept what you say, and it doesn't take years for the subconscious or months or anything. 'Cause I've heard certain others that teach it and say, "Oh, you have to change your old thoughts. It's going to." No, it doesn't. It doesn't. If you immediately stay committed to that one new thought, your subconscious mind accepts it. It's the conscious mind that you're convincing, because the conscious one is the habitual one. but the subconscious is like, okay, no problem. So yeah, it does accept your blueprint. So anything that you're imagining, saying, what you're constantly thinking about, it's accepting it. And that's why throughout the book he also says, Dr. Murphy says, think of things that are good: health, peace, prosperity, abundance, love. Keep your mind on the good things, because or what you consider good, or your desires, because that's what you're gonna get in the end. So
Yeah. Hey, hold on for 1 second. I want to shout out Money Abundant Easily. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Ooh, happy birthday. Yes, Lisa's birthday was yesterday. I was on yesterday, so I did get a chance to wish Lisa happy birthday as well. She came in the room yesterday. I was on for a few minutes, so I did get to wish her happy birthday. A happy birthday to you. I hope you have a wonderful day. Money Abundant Easily. I love that name. Have a wonderful day. If you're still in the chat, happy birthday to you. And good morning, Sheila. How are you? Yes. So I'd like to acknowledge the birthdays as well. I see Tangela. Did you want to come up? You put a request in. I don't know if that was on accident or not. But yes, guys. Yes, the blueprint. You are the blueprint, right? Your mind is the blueprint. You are the operant power, as Neville Goddard would like to say, right? We think things just happen, but no, they just don't happen. You're the cause. You've always been the cause, and you will always be the cause. And the cause is always what? Mental. This world is a thought world.
Miss Toyia, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Coming from our background, how do we, as Gigi mentioned, we were never taught. How is it that the leaders didn't know or were not aware of what they were teaching or doing? How could that be for years? From our background, they say over 150 years in Church of God in Christ, Nope. Nobody eyes ever were open or anything.
Well, yeah, those are the ones that left the church, right?
Okay.
Here's the thing, though. I'm not going to say that they all don't know, right? Sometimes
Right.
that money's too good to give it up.
Okay.
Sometimes money talk, BS walk, as they say, right?
Okay.
And then it's like, but do they fully know? Because when you fully know, you don't operate in greed. So
You
then
can't.
you may
Right.
know from a certain intellectual perspective, but spiritually, there has not been a transformation, because they're still dealing from a place of lack, right? Because you really don't really trust the being within, the God that you say that you serve, because you think in order to get, you have to manipulate, or you have to coerce, or fear mongering must take place. Well, that's not fully trusting and knowing who you are, right? So I would say that most people are still asleep, that, as the Bible says, is blind leaders of the blind, right?
Yep.
Everyone looks at life as, most people, those that are still asleep, see life as transactional, right? It's like, what can I get out of this? How can I get something from you? How can I, so it's just like everything has been transactional. That's the world we live in now, until you awaken out of that. But even then, you have to be careful with that, right? You have to be careful when you awaken out of the dream, because some of those barnacles are still clinging on to you, where you still operate from the mindset of, how can I get, as opposed to, how can I be? Who am I?
Mm-hmm.
And so that part is really tricky, because I realized that even here on this side, even going through this awakening process, you still have people with the mindset of, how can I figure out how to make more money? How can I figure out how to get more? And it's all about, well, I'll only give you information if you can give me money for it.
Exactly.
It's a quid pro quo, right? I'm not
Right.
just going to give it freely because I have to pay my bills. Don't you know I have to feed my family? And I know something you don't know. And so if I'm going around saying I know something you don't know and you want to know it, then it's going to cost you. When the whole time the answer has been within you. It's never outside of you. But that goes back to people don't really trust themselves. They really don't believe in themselves. Now, it's not that I'm against the whole selling the books and doing the coaching. I'm not against any of all that. But you got to know why you're doing it, right?
Right.
Like the
Correct.
purpose for you sharing this, right? Why do you feel you need to buy this book? Why do you feel like you need this coaching? Do you think they have something that you don't?
But that's the carrot. That's the carrot that they're dangling in front of you. Like you just said, I know something you don't know. I know something you don't know. Like that preacher I was telling you about. I know the name of God. And he was dangling that carrot, I mean, for a whole hour, to the point that I almost ran over to the pew and was about to wrap my arms around his neck and be like, dude, tell me his name, you know? But I was like, okay, you want to be stingy? Because I ain't giving you 40% of nothing. If anything, I'm giving 40% of the tithe to me. I looked it up. I mean, a lot of times too, even people that are in church, they don't even know because they've been like, indoctrinated with this whole religious dogma thing. And like you read the Bible, and the Bible is in black and white. It's telling you what it is as it is, and then they try to tell you that that's not really what the Bible is saying. I mean, I've had ministers and Bible study teachers tell me that that's not what it's saying. I'm like, but that's what it says. It says right there. For example, delight yourself in me, and I will fulfill the desires of your heart. There's nothing in parentheses saying except I won't give you this, I won't give you this, or I won't give you. It's in black and white what it's saying. Same thing with Mark 11:24. Anything you, and I'm paraphrasing. If you believe in your heart and don't doubt, you shall have what you say. That's what it says right there. It's in black and white. There's no it's not telling me that I can't ask for this or I can't, you know what I'm saying?
Right, because here's the thing: you have to understand that everybody's connected, right? So yes, go if you're feeling led, okay, I want a one-on-one, I want coaching, I want to buy this book, whatever, right? Look at it as a you and you type relationship, right? Not looking at the relationship, oh, they have more information, they know more, or no, look at it as you created the experience and it's really a reflection of you to you. And you're just using that person to remind you of who you are. That's it. It should be no more than that, right? And yes, you know, right. If you're using someone's time, okay, yes, whatever they say that their time is worth, that's between you and that person, right? Because it's all about whatever a person is really, because money is, everything is made up in this world, right? So if there's really, when it all comes down to, there's really no wrong or right. It's just what we don't take into consideration is how we would want to be treated, right? Because the golden rule is do unto others as you will have others do unto you. So you have to be very, mindful of, would you want to pay $2,000 for it or $10,000 for it? So if you wouldn't want to pay for it, why would you charge that? But most people don't think that way. They're just like, well, a fool is born every minute, and it's a sucker born every minute. If I can get you to pay $5,000, $10,000 because I'm selling you a dream, right? You're being a little disingenuous or dishonest about what you're offering the people. Then that's I'm like, be on alert or use a little discernment with that. But let's say how to Royal, how are you? I almost forgot that you was up there. You got to come in and jump in and like put it, because we'll get to talking and forget all about it.
Nah, I'll be listening. I love to listen to y'all.
Hi, Aaron. How's it going, Aaron?
Hey, Aaron. Yes. How are you, Royal?
I'm good. Yeah, I like this chapter on the practical techniques.
Mm-hmm.
I like how he gave us a bunch of different techniques. But kind of like what Benjamin was saying earlier, Our thoughts are prayers. And he was saying, like, if you're doubtful and cynical, then the image you have in your mind will be more tense and have limitations of all kinds. So it's kind of like we can have these desires that we want, but if we have these doubts and these cynical images, it's going to counter that. And then later on in the book, he talks about like whichever thought is more dominant or feeling is more dominant, your subconscious is going to rock with that one. You know what I mean? So sometimes we counteract some of the things we say we want. We like, it's like we're double praying, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I like
Yep.
how he speaks on that.
Right, because the thing is, do you believe that you could pray for something and never have to ask another person for it? That's the thing. Most people don't believe that. Most people don't believe that if I just go within myself and pray to myself, do I believe that things are going to happen? It's going to cause the money just to appear. A lot of people question that. So they're like, well, no, I know someone who has it, so let me go ask them for it, or let me try to figure out a way to how to get it, as opposed to believing that the money will show up without you having to lift a finger. But most people don't agree with that. They don't trust that because there's a scripture in the Bible that says, well, if a man doesn't work, he doesn't eat, right? And as Benjamin was talking about how they were saying, well, not working is considered laziness, right? But that's a trick the rich plays on the poor, right? Because when they're rich and they don't work, they call it leisure. When you're poor and you don't work, it's called laziness.
But this is the work right here. This is the work. Like, you know,
This
I feel like
is the work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The work is inside. It's not laborious outside. It's inside work, you know?
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's all about perspective, right? Because the work is always mental. That's what James was telling you, right? When James was talking about your works without faith, right? And and then Paul came back, well, I'll show you my faith by my works, right? Because the work is mental. That's how you see it.
Well, even this group. I manifested this group.
Yo, I was thinking that this morning.
Yeah. I was looking at TikTok, looking at stuff, and I was like, well, I would love to find somebody on here on TikTok that I'm like, have a common ground with. Not gonna charge me any money, and I can talk to about this stuff. And we have and boom, T popped up, and then met Aaron, met Joy, met Lisa, met you guys. So by simply just asking. And he talks about that in this chapter too, about visualization and asking, like, ask ye shall receive, seek ye shall find, knock and the door shall be open. So it's by simply just saying, I like to find this and this and that, T's page popped up. I wasn't looking for T's page. T's page found me. And then everything she was saying, I'm like, it was like mind blowing. Like, wow, she's exactly what I've been looking for. Thank you. You guys are exactly what I've been looking for. Thank you. So,
What do you call it? Beautiful reflections, right? We're all one another's beautiful reflections.
Yeah.
Hey, I read this thing the other day. It reminded me of what you say, Toyia. It was talking about the subconscious mind, and it was saying, anytime you speak bad of somebody else, your subconscious doesn't differentiate you talking about you or you talking about them. So anytime you're talking bad about anybody else, your subconscious is taking that as if you're saying, I am stupid or I am dumb. You know what I mean? Anything that you're speaking on somebody else, it's like you said, a reflection. So anytime you're talking bad about somebody else, your subconscious is taking that as I am blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, because who's thinking the thought?
We are.
Right.
I am, right? If you're the one thinking it, you're the one creating it.
Yes. And as Royal stated about talking about people, if we really get the mindset that we are one, and when you talk about somebody, you're really talking about yourself then.
That's the kicker. That should change everybody's perspective out here.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're really speaking about yourself. And I just asked the question, if you just ask it to yourself, would you want anybody else to be like you?
Right. You think you do, but no.
Say you're nasty, you're degrading, you're always talking about people, ruining reputation. Would you want anybody to be you?
But
Think about it.
that's your perspective of that person. If you say that that person is nasty, that person is a jerk, that person is this and this and that, that's exactly what they're going to be towards you. And yet
Come
another
on.
person will say, "Oh, that person's sweet, that person is adorable," and then they're going to have a different experience with that person.
Yeah.
And I've told this story before when I was working at a restaurant, and I had a manager that nobody liked her. And I started saying, "Oh, she's sweet. She's nice.
Mm-hmm.
She's just busy. She's got things on her mind. She says good morning to me. She's very nice to me." Everybody's like, "Oh, I don't like her." I was like, "Well, I do." And then the first day she would come in, first day of my job, I said good morning. She kind of gave me a nod, and inside my head I was like saying, "Oh my gosh, she just said good morning to me. She's so sweet. She's so nice." And fast forward about a week later, she not only said good morning to me, she even offered me a cappuccino. She'd offer me like all kinds of stuff. Even after I left the job and I would go and eat there with like friends or a date or whatever, she would give me like a free bottle of wine, give me free appetizers and whatnot, all because I changed my perspective on her. So if right now you're saying, and test it, because it does work, test it. Let's say there's somebody that you don't like, somebody at your job, a family member, immediately start saying that they're nice, that they're sweet, however you want them to treat you. And you'll see. Watch. When don't even think about the time, the how, the when, nothing. Just kind of stick with that story, and you're gonna amaze yourself. You're gonna be like, "Oh my God, we went from being nasty to being nice. They went from being jerks to being cool." Because you changed your perspective. The moment you change your perspective, they change because they're just a reflection of you.
Absolutely. Yep.
Correct.
So,
As Gigi says that, when you really look for the good in anything, you'll find it.
That's right. I like that.
it doesn't matter what you look for, you're gonna find it. If you're looking for
Thank you.
red flags, you're gonna find
Thank you.
red flags. Like
Thank you.
Like that. Yeah. It's
yeah.
true.
Yeah, and so let's finish out the chapter. I'm gonna read the last highlights I have. It says, get a new blueprint. Build silently by realizing peace, harmony, joy, and goodwill in the present moment. By dwelling upon these things and claiming them, your subconscious will accept your blueprint and bring all these things to pass. By their fruits ye shall know them. And so he says, your desire is your prayer. Picture the fulfillment of your desire now and feel its reality, and you will experience the joy of the answered prayer. Right? Your desire is a gift from you to you. We have to stop looking at desires as something we have to work for. Desires are gifts, right? Gifts you don't earn, as the Bible says, that grace is given freely. That's the gift, the desire. We got to get out of the mindset of working for the things of this life. It says that the Father already knows what you have need of. So if you're worth more than the birds and the lilies of the field, then act like it. Walk in that dominion. Command you me. What would you have the Father do? Because whatever you ask for, the answer is always yes. It's never no. It's always yes.
He also here has the thank you technique to give thanks. He mentions gratitude a lot. I believe very, very highly in gratitude. If you ever want to get in that like they call it the state or the feeling, which is really the knowing, the certainty of something, give thanks for it. I always say that giving thanks is that super fuel to your desire. It's like that Federal Express super fuel to your desire. At least that's how I feel about it. But he talks about giving thanks for things that, before you have them. Give thanks as though you already have the thing that you desire. Yeah, this chapter rocked my world. I loved it.
Yeah, it was so practical.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yep. As he said, remember the thankful heart is always close to the riches of the universe. And the last one I'm going to highlight, he says, to affirm is to state that it is so. Not to make something so, but because it already is so. As you maintain this attitude of mind as true, regardless of all evidence to the contrary, you will receive an answer to your prayer. And so, in other words, he's saying circumstances doesn't matter, right? It's what you think.
Thou shalt decree a thing, and it shall be established unto thee, and the light shall shine upon thy ways. So 22:28, it refers that's a good scripture to meditate on. And desire to accomplish things the easy way, and your desire is your prayer. Picture the fulfillment of your desire now and feel its reality, and you will experience the joy of an answered prayer. I mean, this was a great chapter. I mean, I can stay on this chapter for hours, but we're gonna move on.
And to bring all of that together, it's one thing that in that chapter, if we do, it'll change our lives forever. Is using the mental movie method.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
When we use the mental movie method, and you run it through and you look at the movie and everything in your mind, it brings everything into place.
Break it down for us, for those of us in the chat who may not be familiar with the movie method. And Belle the Goddess is called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. But go ahead, Benjamin, break down the movie method for us.
But it's what happens in entertainment. They keep replaying or rehearsing or putting before you to entertain you without mind. That's when you into entertainment. So in your mind, you run through, you see that I'm going to buy this house. I'm going to furnish this house. What kind of drapes, everything. You putting that movie in your mind. And as you do that, you're already picturing it. That's why they call it a movie picture. It's a moving picture portrait of what you've already framed in your mind. And you move out and accomplish it, you've already completed the movie. And you have just what you say or what you imagine, because your imagination is your thoughts, and your thoughts become things. And I say it like this: my imagination is my currency.
Yep.
The coin of heaven. As
It's
Neville
my
Goddard talks about,
currency.
right?
It's
The
my
coin of heaven.
currency.
Yep.
I imagine it and it comes to pass. I can get anything I desire.
So what is it? You are as rich as your thoughts.
Yes, you are.
So that means you always have thoughts. That means you're infinitely abundant. Your resources never run out.
Never. But and see, Toyia, that's what you told us. That's why people have to charge things and everything. When is enough enough? And you ask the average person, what do you want? They can't tell you.
They'll tell you what they don't want.
Thank you. I've asked that so many years. What do you really want? Now watch this. Y'all gonna laugh. I asked the person several times, if you win the lottery, what you gonna do? You know the number one thing they said? I'll go crazy. You can't have it.
Oh no. Oh wow.
Ask the average person, what if you win that $356 million? What you gonna do? I'm gonna go crazy.
Oh Lord.
They can't tell you what they want. They don't even know what they really need. And they need to relax and just refresh themselves and know that everything has already been provided. You don't have to work for it. You don't have to run after it. You don't have to beat anybody down to get it. It's already yours.
Ooh, say that. Already.
Hey, Neville hit that movie method as well. I don't know if he called it a movie method, but he said, like, when you visualize that, don't look at it and like see yourself in it. See that movie as yourself. Like, see
Yes,
it in the
sir.
first person. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like that way you feel it more. You in it more. versus like
It works
watching a movie.
either way. It works whether you see yourself in it or if you see yourself, like the Oculus game, like we're actually in it, or if you're seeing yourself like in the second person, like watching it from a movie. It works either way. There's no right or wrong way of doing it. I mean, and even like they say, a mental picture is worth 1,000 words. Your subconscious will bring it to pass. Any picture held in the mind, backed by faith. So as long as you keep replaying that movie, like you can watch a movie and you've seen it maybe twice or 3 times, and you can quote it. You'll watch the movie and you can quote it. You can quote the parts. You remember this part. Oh my God! Remember when they did this in the movie? Remember when they robbed the bank and they were so stupid and they got caught and it was so funny because the cop was doing this and this, and you can recall it. And maybe you've seen the movie once or twice. And so imagine when you replay the movie over and over and over. I mean, you can direct it. You can play all the parts of the movie. So when it comes to your desire, replay that part, replay it over and over and over like a movie. And the more you replay it, the more the subconscious says yes. So the subconscious says yes regardless. But you stay with faith, keep playing that vision. Because again, the subconscious does not know the difference between this reality and the reality that's going on in your head. Yeah. So you stay faithful to it. And again, don't worry about the how, don't worry about the when. There's only one when, and it's now. Just, be faithful to it, and amazing things will happen.
Gigi, as you said that, we've got to all know that you are the director.
That's right. You're the director, you're the star.
Thank you. So you can rewrite the script. You're able to rewrite the script. If it's not to your liking, rewrite it.
Rewrite it. Exactly.
Absolutely. Revise. That's repentance in scripture. Mm-hmm. Change your mind. You have the ability. There's nothing, there's everything changes except what? Consciousness, which is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore, right? The laws of mind never change. Those are fixed, but everything else changes.
Toyia, you mean repentance don't mean to cry and fall out and ask God?
Oh, I know, yeah. No,
I'm
that's
sorry.
Yeah.
Not repent to change your mind. No, you gotta fall out and cry and everything so he won't kill you.
I'm a worm. I'm this and this and that. Yeah.
Damn, even that, it's like I am sorry. I am.
Ooh, yeah,
I am a sinner.
like,
I am like they just got you stamping that shit.
Right.
Oh my goodness. A lowly soul are you, right?
Oh, yes.
Right.
But that's what we've been indoctrinated into. But I'm thankful, I'm so grateful, that my eyes have been opened.
Absolutely.
And as Toyia said, most men, and she answered the question, most men that are in churches won't give the money up. Well, I can testify, as my eyes were open, I sold my ministry and everything. I sold my church building and everything. I told him I could not do it. I would not lie to you anymore. And I took the money and I had a big celebration and I gave families money.
Nice. Beautiful.
Because my whole motto for my ministry was empowering people to impact lives. And it was not fitting in. They blacklisted me. They put me out. They told me I don't do what they do. And I wasn't called to that. And so, as Toyia said, the money thing, it's the money game.
Now you should have hit Benjamin. You should have hit him with the whoa to you Pharisees and scribes. Well, you don't go within yourself. You allow others to go in themselves.
Give them the 7 woes,
you gotta hit
right?
in the scripture, yo. Yeah.
The 7 woes. Woe to you, Pharisees. Woe to you, hypocrites.
Isn't that a song that goes like, whoa? Whoa. That's a hip hop song. I'm like,
Right. Hey, neighbor, DMV realtor. Okay, so we're going to dive into chapter 7. And so I'll lead it off with the highlight. Your subconscious processes are always lifeward and constructive. Your subconscious is the builder of your body and maintains all its vital functions. It is on the job 24 hours a day and never sleeps. It is always trying to help and preserve you from harm. So the I am within you, the inner God, is never looking to what? Harm you, test you, beat you, do none of those things. Those things happen because of why? The way you think. It's because of your thoughts that you experience the tests, the trials, and the tribulations. You have to transform your thinking, like Romans 12:2 says, be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed. How? By the renewing of your mind. You sure it isn't water baptism? No, water baptism never transforms anyone. It only makes you wet. You went down as a dry devil. You came up as a wet devil. The only thing that's going to transform you is your mind. Because water baptism is about the truth, right? Water baptism is psychological truth. That's what water represents, truth in scripture. So when it's the truth that what makes you free. And so Christ said, John the Baptist came to baptize you with water, but I come to baptize you with what? The fire, the life, the spirit within you cleans up everything that's unlike itself. So it rids you of the doubt, the fear, the limitation, the unbelief. That's what the spirit does, because the spirit, the comforter, the spirit of truth, it brings everything back to your remembrance and makes you what? New. Because if any man be in Christ, he's a new creature. Old things have passed away, and behold, all things become new. The way you think, the way you speak, the way you walk, right? The way you hear, everything is new.
That's like he said over here. He said we build a new body every 11 months. Every 11 months. If we don't recycle old thoughts and beliefs, our body will be brand new every 11 months.
Woo!
Like that's crazy. So
Ain't
people
that
that,
deep?
yeah, that is. 'Cause it's like your body's not recycling the health problems. It's your mind.
11. It's sooner than that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yep. That's what, because I said that's who your soul is. So he says that's what I equate the soul to, because he says you are the sum total of your own thoughts. You can keep from entertaining negative thought and imagery. The way to get rid of darkness is with light. The way to overcome cold is with heat. The way to overcome the negative thought is to substitute the good thought. Affirm the good and the bad will vanish. That's why the scripture says to resist the devil and he will flee from you, right? Resist the negative. Resist the doubt. You're not supposed to fight with it and struggle with it. You're supposed to loose it and let it go. People trying to hold on to it. People want to fight demons and devils. You were never told to fight demons and devils. You were told to what? Turn your back on them. Resist them.
Or just tell them to shut up, get out of your face. I've done that too. Like, you know what? Shut up.
Here's the thing: giving energy to the negative, giving energy to the thing you don't want to see anymore, only perpetuates it. You give life to it.
Yeah.
So the best way to combat negative is to feed it what? With the positive. That's the way you rid yourself of the negativity. Is to start to affirm the truth of who you are.
That's kind of like how Gigi said earlier, like, and he said that too. Whenever you have like fear or doubt, just get into a gratitude state. And
Right.
that seems very helpful. That like lifts your frequency right up out of there.
Yep.
I like what you just said, Toyia, and I've taught that for years. Don't give life to anything. The way to kill anything is not to give it life. So if you have an altercation with a person, if you want to kill it, don't respond. I don't care how much they aggravate you, don't give life to it. Because, It says, when your no good thing would get with their no good thing, it's not going to be no good thing.
Mm.
Say that again.
Say that again. I'm gonna say it too. Say that again.
Say it again for us in the back.
When your no good thing gets with their no good thing, it's not going to be no good thing. So think about it. Think about it. If you're not saying anything, you're not creating anything. So when you get in an argument, listen to me good, people. When you get into an argument and you go silent, that person is going to think either you're scared or you're crazy. Because if you don't say anything, you're not creating anything. So if you respond, now you're creating a more violent situation. And what do most people say? I'm not going to let you have the last word. Watch this. And that altercation may be your last word because you created death in that situation.
Yep. Definitely like learn the power of the tongue.
True.
It's
It's funny.
soft answer turns away wrath.
Yes.
Yep. Like if you're, I do that with my husband. Like it's funny. I can't say that, Benjamin. I do that with my husband.
They call it stonewalling in relationships.
Yep, when he's being kind of, well, although because I say all the time now, he's sweet, he's nice, he doesn't like to argue, we discuss things instead. We talk about it, we laugh about things. We haven't had an argument in a long time, and we never will, because I always say that we talk things over. We never argue. We get along really well. We're on the same wavelength. But if you do get into an argument, it's best to just not say anything. If you go to the bathroom and then say to yourself, you know what, they're being nice to me. They're being sweet. They're being attentive. They're being understanding, and you'll see that all of a sudden they'll become understanding, attentive, nice, apologetic, and
Or
whatnot.
do you know why arguments happen? Because you need the other person to be different so you could be happy.
Exactly.
That's why arguments happen. Because you don't like how they're showing up and you need them to be different so you to be happy. So you're letting what? Circumstances dictate how you feel about you.
Mm-hmm. Well, circumstances don't matter.
I think relationships and marriages are the best place to practice this.
Absolutely.
This good old subconsciousness. Great practice place.
Because if you just let people be and love people where they are, then there will be no room for argument.
Right.
But if the argument only comes because, oh, well, I think you should have did it this way. I think you should have did it that way. Why didn't you consider me? Why didn't you? It's always right? It's a pointing of the finger, right? It's looking outwardly as opposed to looking inwardly.
Yeah.
That's true.
Because whatever you're not liking about the partner, you're really not liking about you. Why? Because it's you. You're the only one thinking it. You're thinking it. So you're creating it.
Right.
As Benjamin said, stop thinking it and you have no problems.
Get rid of that stinking thinking.
Think on the what? The lovely, the true, the noble, the honest. Anything of good report, anything of virtue, anything of praise report, anything worthy of praise. Think on these things.
Correct. And as you all say that, I've been with my wife 41 years.
Ooh, beautiful. All right.
And the reason I'm going to tell y'all, I told my church, I love God, I love my wife, and I love football. And so I taught my wife football, and I taught her when they throw a flag, what happens? Everything stops. Nobody plays again till they correct what went wrong. And so I taught her when I throw a flag, I say flag on the play. That means I didn't understand what you did. Please help me understand. And she did the same thing. I said, when I do things, throw a flag and ask me, baby, what do you mean by that? Or what I'm not getting, I missed something. And that's why we've been together 41 years.
Love that, yo.
Beautiful. I love football too. Oh my goodness. Are you ready? Y'all know I love it, right? The people, a lot of
Yes.
people already know I love me some football. Oh my goodness. Yes. Oh, I love that. That's beautiful, Benjamin. I love that. Flag on a play. Let's stop everything.
Stop
Let us
everything.
reason together.
That's right. That's right.
And all thy getting, get a what?
Understanding.
Standing.
And
And that's
all
all
thy
it
getting.
is. That's all it is. And that brings healing. As Joseph Murphy talked in the 7th chapter about the healing, that is so awesome. When you go within yourself and tell yourself, I'm not receiving that. No, I know my lungs are bad. No. Lungs breathe 100%. All the cells reproduce. See, and that's what you do in your marriage. No, I can't receive that. Flag on the plate, baby. Help me understand. I don't want to take what you said wrong or offensive. Please help me understand. And that's the way you do it. Now, most people, they listen to respond. They don't listen to hear.
Right.
And that's the problem. Did you hear what I said, or are you just listening? No, I heard what you said. Now I need to understand. I didn't. Yeah, because the lady can say the sky is blue, and we'll say it's aqua.
Don't make me over. Hey, buddy.
But it's still in the blue family, regardless.
When it comes to relationships, you have to discover you're not in a relationship to make people over. Like that song came in my
Right.
mind. Don't make me over now that something I can't remember the words, but that's what came to my mind. Y'all know I got a song for every situation, right?
You box to it.
Stop getting with people to change folks. Why
That's
are
right.
you with them if you don't like them? Like what? They would be perfect if they just did this, and that. Well, then that means they're what? So they have to mimic. Yes, everyone is a reflection of you, but everyone is a reflection of your thoughts. We are individualized versions of the one, right? We all are unique in our own way, right? We all have our own passions, our own ways of doing things. We're not clones of one another, right? So when we say someone is you pushed out, we're saying they're your thoughts and assumptions about how you perceive things, your perspective about life. That doesn't mean that you're supposed to be up here trying to make people be identical to you, be a clone of you. We're not making Frankenstein. You're not Frankenstein making monsters. You're supposed to be able to love people just as they are because there's nothing wrong with them, just like there's nothing wrong with you.
So true. But society as a whole tells people you got to make them better. You got to make them what you want. You can't do that. I use this analogy all the time. If you can make me anything, make me a billionaire.
All right. I want to be a billionaire, so freaking bad.
You hear the terminology. You all hear the terminology. Ooh, they made me mad. Really?
Mm-hmm.
If they can make you anything, make that situation that you challenge with go away. If they can make anything.
That part.
That's right.
You know what? Next time somebody, instead of saying they make me mad, I'm going to say, look, man, they just made me a billionaire.
I know, right?
Well, you just made me a billionaire.
They just made me a billionaire. Love it.
So grateful that you just made me. You know what? I am so grateful you made me a effing billionaire. Man, I'm going to start using it. And let's have fun with it.
Okay. So Joseph Murphy reminds us it is abnormal to be sick. It simply means you are going against the stream of life and thinking negatively. The law of life is the law of growth. All nature testifies to the operation of this law by silently, constantly expressing itself in the law of growth. Where there is growth and expression, there must be life. Where there is life, there must be harmony. And where there is harmony, there is perfect health. Woo. And I know a lot of people find difficulties with that, right? Because we talk about all of the diseases and ills and sicknesses and ailments happening on our third dimensional plane. And they're like, well, if it was just that simple, if it was just that easy, then you just need to go to the hospitals. And how come you're not in the hospital wards, and why you're not here, and why you're not there? Because here's the thing. It doesn't, just because these things exist doesn't make this law not true. It's a personal testament. Yes, we can heal others through our belief too, right? Because everyone is rooted in you. But why would I go looking for diseases? We don't go looking for illnesses. When they show up in your world, then that's when you transform them. But to go to the hospital is to identify with sickness. We're not identifying with sicknesses. We're not identifying with illnesses or diseases. We're identifying with wealth, well-being, and harmony. Right? So it's your personal reality, your personal world that you transform. You didn't come to save the world. You came to transform yours. That's the difference. You can't change the world. The world doesn't need saving. The world just needs to what? Wake up.
Yeah. Anytime I go to the doctors, this is the script. I'm just going here to use their machine so they can tell me how healthy I am. Every single time,
That part.
Not going there waiting for them to tell me what's wrong. Like, no, y'all about to tell me how great this blood is looking.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Roy, as you say that, and Toyia, you made a beautiful point there. When you go to the doctor, why do they always ask you what's wrong with you? Why they don't tell you what's wrong with you?
Right, that's your job. Figure it out. You tell me.
You tell me. I'm here. You tell me what's wrong with me.
Hey, look, when they ask about family history, I'm like, nope, everybody's healthy in my family. Like, y'all not about to.
Beautiful neighbor. I love that neighbor. That's beautiful neighbor. Yes,
But
the neighbor said
Toyia, it goes back to what you said, Toyia. It's all about money. Do you know the plan for help to move every disease in this world is already available? But it's about money. That's why I hate to say this, and I hope y'all correct me. You know why they get rid of a Dr. Sebi and everything when he can cure cancer for $43? Think about it. Think about it. For $43, you take the herbs of the earth and heal people. You think they're gonna let that go when it costs you over $60,000 a treatment?
Or more?
Man, check this out.
But can we say that somebody took somebody out? Can we really say that? Knowing the law of mind?
No, that's right.
The law of mind, people transition from their own belief. Right?
Yeah.
Because the body was never meant to be, the body is a finite experience, right? The body is not, it's not the eternal. It's a projection of the eternal, right?
Correct.
It's a finite experience. So nobody takes anyone out.
I would say they removed the healing.
They did nothing.
Well, I understand.
Let's clean that up.
Okay.
Nobody did anything to anybody.
Oh yeah, it could be this though, right? Because even Dr. Sebi, for example, right? He said his mom was like, "Man, once you go start healing these people, they're gonna come for you."
There you go.
It could be
There
that
you
fear
go.
right there, right? She planted a seed. Now he got the fear, even though he didn't show it in his videos or nothing.
Right.
But it could be that fear from from what the outside is bringing his way. You know what I mean?
That's what they were saying. Coretta Scott King was saying that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was saying too. He was saying the same thing when she was doing her interviews after he passed. He was
Yeah.
in fear of the thing happening to him. See, like Job said, the thing I greatly feared
Fear.
has come upon
Right.
me.
Right. So that's
So,
going back to the power of assumption that they was talking about, like chapter 3 or whatever. You know what I mean? It's if your thought is not more dominant than what these people are bringing your way, you know, their
yep.
fears that they casting on you. If it's not more dominant, your subconscious is going to run with whichever is more dominant.
The hetero suggestion, right? That's why
Right.
you want to do the auto suggestion. You want to be in control of your thinking. You don't want someone else
Correct.
thinking for
Right.
you. Yep.
Yeah, and
Yep.
that's why Dr. Joseph Murphy in that healing in chapter 7 about the healing, he was talking about the person the young lady with the sore throat, and she said within an hour she healed herself.
Mm-hmm.
It's all within. We have it already in the earth realm, the healing. We are within it.
But our body is so powerful, like especially now we know it's the subconscious running everything, but we got
Yes.
the antibodies, we got everything inside of us already. Like now, the more that I started like supplementing and taking vitamins,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just supplementing what's already in my body, like
What's
vitamin D. All these things are already in my body. You know what I mean? It's
Yep.
just you just supplementing what's already going on in there.
Correct.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yep. Because I'll be 53 calendar years according to how we keep time in this third
Yes,
dimensional
yes.
plane, right? And so I haven't been to a doctor since I went to go do a breast exam. And I was like, I will never
With
go to
radiation,
another
you know what I mean?
doctor ever again. Because the fear that they, especially when I came to the understanding the law of mind, and what you always saying, like, people don't go to the doctor to see what's right. They go to the doctor to see
Right.
what's wrong. Well, I don't need to go to the doctor for you to verify what I already know to be true. I already know I'm healthy. I don't need you to confirm something I already know. And when I went, because it was two, so it was one time I went to the previous to the breast exam, I went to go for a yearly checkup, and it was I had switched doctors. I changed the insurance or whatever. Went to go see a doctor, and this is the first time she ever saw me, and she was like feeling on my neck, and she was like, "Your neck seems big. We want to run some tests to see if you have a thyroid." I was like, "Big compared to what?" Because you have never seen me before.
Right.
Like, are you kidding me? Never went back. Because I was like, what?
And you know what's crazy, Toyia?
Because I don't even know what the symptoms of having thyroid is or anything like that. But just you saying you think that's what it is and you want me to go. I didn't come in there telling you nothing was happening to me. I didn't give you no complaints, no symptoms, nothing. And this is how you try to diagnose me.
But look, that's the power they play on our minds, right? So they did that with my mom. My mom's 70, okay? And she was going, she one of them, she go to the doc, she loved the doctor. So she go to the doctors constantly. But so I pick her up one day and they're like, she said they gave her like a pre-thyroid pill. I'm like, what's a pre-thyroid pill? Do you got thyroid? She's like, no, they're just giving me this so I don't get it. Fast forward 6 months later, guess what she got? Thyroids. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So it's,
And this is what the DMV realtor was just saying, that they give you medication to prevent it, but she ended up getting
that's how it happens. Yeah, she didn't have diabetes. All of a sudden, she got diabetes. And like they just, you know what I mean, going down the list. So now I'm like, I'm about to be a doctor. You know, I done took her took her away from the doctor, and I'm gonna slowly do it myself because it's and you know like and I'm using this book, right? So it's when I see my mom, I'm like, damn, mom, you look good. You look healthy. God, look at you. You feeling better, ain't you? And she's like, yeah, actually, I do feel better. You know, you gotta play that shit because that's what they're doing. They're talking bad, like, oh, you don't feel too good, do you? Yeah. You got your neck looking like your thyroid is got an issue there.
That pre stuff, either I have it or I don't. What is this pre stuff? What is this? I may get it. It may happen. It probably will. Either am I diagnosed with it or am I not diagnosed with it? This whole free and trying to say that you may have something. It's just like, man, that's what, like you said, that's what messes with your mind. And then you're only thinking about you might get it. To what? Now you got it.
Yeah, your thought plus the medication, you got it.
Yep.
Crazy.
Miss
Oh,
Toya, look at Phenomenal Divine's response. They said my sister would never walk. I got Miss Toya's magic. She's standing up.
oh, beautiful. I didn't even see that, buddy. Oh, that's amazing, buddy.
That's
Yes.
amazing. That's
Yes.
amazing. It works. It works.
It's beautiful. And we
Yeah,
know
you're
we already know full recovery, claiming full recovery, right?
Yes.
Full
Yes.
recovery, and then it also lies within her desire to still remain in the body, right?
Yes.
As neighbor was saying that she had a friend that passed of the C word in their 30s, and learning to accept people's their desire to go forth outside of the body, right? Because we know there's only life. There's only life. There's no death, right? There's only life. And either you're going to continue life physically or you're going to continue, and because you're only going to continue it in the body, or you're going to decide to get another body or just remain spirit or soul, right? And I know that topic can be very touchy when it comes to understanding how life is expressed and how we transition in and out of this third dimensional plane. So I know that can be a very, very sensitive topic. Because especially when it comes to our religious organizations and the fear of the transition, right? We have been so, compounded with transitioning out of the body. We look at it as something that's to be feared as opposed to something to be celebrated.
Miss Toya, as you say that, think about religion. They talk about golden streets, angel wings, flying, but why a lot of people not trying to die to go there?
Mm.
Right. Our natural instinct is to stay alive. Right.
Thank you. Ask the average person, where is your dream vacation? They say, oh, I want to go to Dubai. Here's the money. They're going to Dubai. But you talk about, oh, I'm going to heaven. I'm going to be so glad when I get there. But you trying to live as long as you can on this earth.
Yep.
Something's wrong with that picture.
Yep. Yep. Hey, Glaze Innovations. Hey, Janine. Hello. How you guys doing?
Heaven is the place on earth.
Thank you. And he told us
song.
specifically, Gigi, he told us specifically, now I got to get my preacher on now. He
Go for
told
it.
us specifically, live your days as heaven on earth.
Yep. On earth as it is in heaven.
Thank you. They won't believe that. They got to walk the streets of gold. And I know some people going, they're going to be digging that gold up.
Trying to sell it.
That's the uncorruptible seed within you. That's where you're gonna find the gold. And so, Dr. Joseph Murphy says the tendency of your subconscious is always life word. Your job is with your conscious mind. Feed your subconscious mind with premises which are true. Your subconscious is always reproducing according to your habitual mental patterns. So it's what you're constantly thinking. What are you thinking? Because that's what you're creating, right? It is by your word are you justified, and it is by your words are you condemned. It's you, and it'll always be you. It's always your word, your word. Your word goes forth and shall not return unto you void.
Through repetition, faith, and expectancy, you impregnate your subconscious mind.
That's why I stated in the beginning, I'm always at work. People ask, you don't work? I always work. I'm always at work.
Yep.
My subconscious mind is always at work.
Yep. Says what you affirm consciously and feel is true will be made manifest in your mind, body, and affairs. Affirm the good and enter into the joy of living. The joy of living. That's what we have to train our bodies to accept, the joy of living, right? Because the body has been, it's been conditioned to fear abundance, to think that, good isn't a steady flow, right? We're told what goes up must come down, that there's a boogeyman behind the corner, that there's, like it's a trap waiting for you to swallow you up, right? You're always thinking about what the worst situation can be. And we have to train our minds to think of the best, to understand that this life is meant to be joy, full of joy. Say rejoice, and again I say rejoice, right? You can't, that your joy may be full. And how do you have a life full of joy if you're always thinking of the worst situation? You have to transform your thinking. You gotta learn how to tell yourself that it's okay to feel good. It's okay to live abundantly. It's okay to have the wealth of this world, because the earth is the Lord's, which is the I am, and the fullness thereof, and it already belongs to you, because all that I have is thine, right? So if God has richly given you all things to enjoy, as Dr. Joseph Murphy would say, then why are you poor?
Exactly.
You're not supposed to be poor.
You got to talk to yourself. You got to talk to yourself. You got to, and in the book he says you have to talk to yourself and keep your mind on what's good. And you repeat that in a couple of chapters. Keep your mind on health, love, on what's good. So you can produce it.
Absolutely. A-Town, you still there?
A-Town. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the love.
You have any thoughts on the chapter 7?
Actually, let me get
So
situated.
sweet. Thank you,
I'll be able to come back.
Oh, okay.
Toyia, as you mentioned, the joy, living life with joy. I was raised, maybe no one else was. I was raised in a family where we couldn't even laugh a lot, because they said, all that laughing and giggling, you're going to cry just as hard.
Oh, wow.
Terrible.
Doom and gloom be real, boy.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I was raised in that environment. You can't laugh and all that because you're going to cry just that hard.
And yet the Bible says that laughter does the heart good.
Right.
You ever felt like upset about something, and all of a sudden you start thinking about something funny and you start feeling better? It's like it goes away. I mean, oh wow. Well, you know what, Benjamin? I give you permission to laugh and smile and laugh and smile and be joyful, and more joy is coming.
Yes, I receive it. I receive it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think one of the things I wanted to kind of revert back to, just the importance of sleeping, where they really desensitize the effect and the importance of bringing awareness to our sleep, where, you're supposed to sleep when you get tired. No, it's not supposed to be, that's not the only thing that's needing to be rejuvenated. It's also in our revisions or our programming before we enter that particular state, and just understanding the state of what it is before you go to sleep, what sleep is, because our senses are even heightened, as it mentioned in the book, where our senses are even heightened as we are asleep, and just knowing what we're feeding ourselves, and then what certainty we come up when we do wake. What is that mode of operation? So it's just really bringing just a lot of importance to, like, just the moments of life, and just kind of really mirroring what I'm able to now see exactly what I need to be, or what needs to happen for me to be who I need to be. So I just love the feedback too from the panel.
Yep. It's, I mean, it's funny. It's like things that are, that promote violence, sadness, anger, but God forbid, no, God bring in that you smile or laugh and have some joy in your life. It's like, oh no, you can't feel good about yourself. You can't feel confident about yourself. You can't laugh. Well, oh, but be miserable. Okay, let's be miserable, be upset, promote violence, but no joy. I mean, I'm sorry, Benjamin, you just freaked me out with that statement. I can't believe somebody said that to you. That the more you laugh or the more joy you have, that misery is going to come afterwards. Why? I mean, I like to meet the person that came up with that rule and punch him straight in the face.
That you got to know from my upbringing that sanctified, and we couldn't play games, we couldn't listen to some of the music, we couldn't
Wow.
wear pants, we couldn't. I'm telling you, it was a struggle. And I had a gentleman tell me he went to his grandson's graduation. Now this is now that I know who I am. He went to his grandson's graduation, and he made a remark. Man, when my grandson saw me, it's like he saw God. I said, he did. You're the only God he knows.
Mm-hmm.
And I look back and reflect on my life. The only God I knew was what was in my family line. And they were sanctified, holy, and you can't play. We couldn't play Monopoly, it had dice. I mean, nothing. We,
Wow.
I'm telling you, Miss Toyia can kind of
Same
verify
here,
that.
Brother Benjamin.
Yeah.
Same, almost the same sentiment.
Man, and I'm so glad. I'm so happy with life. I have the joy of living now to to and I gotta give Miss Toyia her props. She said a word that struck my spirit, opulence, and baby, I've been running with it. I want opulence in every area of my life, with my love walk, with my health, with my finances. I want opulence. I just don't want normal.
That's a beautiful word, opulence.
I
Yes.
want opulence, baby.
Yes.
I have to say, I always say there's such thing as a reincarnation. That I would definitely like to have my mother, my father, my family back because they were a lot of fun. I asked my mom, I can ask her anything, talk to her about anything, and she never was like, oh no, you can't ask me that or you can't say that or anything. She would tell me. We were best friends. My mother and I had the kind of relationship that I wish a lot of moms and daughters would have, where before you talk to your friend about something, you go and you talk to your moms about it. And yeah, we played dice. I had my first beer when I was 5 years old because my dad would have those little Schaefer beers and he'd give me a little sip of it. We danced a lot, laughed a lot. And let me tell you, if Benjamin, if you would have came to my family's house, or anybody would have came to my family's house, if they treated you like family, you became their kid. And any questions, any help you needed, they gave it to you. But
Oh,
yeah, I would say to you, my friend,
yes,
forgive them. And the thing is that they didn't know. It's what they were taught.
correct.
It's the line. That's what they were taught. And now you have the opportunity to go a different route. So choose opulence. Choose
Yes,
joy. Choose
yes,
laughter. Choose peace. Like the book says. And enjoy your life because your life is precious. Everybody's life is precious.
yes,
Everybody's life is important. Everybody has everybody is here to teach everybody to, it's everybody special.
Yes,
Yeah.
guys, if you're really enjoying the live, please double tap the screen. Double
Yeah.
tap the screen. That's how you show your appreciation for the live. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. And thank you for the love you guys are showing us too. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely, yes. Hey, Siobhan. So let's go over into any final words on chapter 7. Did you get your question answered, A-Town, regarding the sleep?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
At the end of chapter 7, I like when he says, give your subconscious a question at night and it will answer you.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
That's the way I love that you brought that up, Royal, because people are always asking, like, how do you know this is how you test it, this is how you prove it to yourself, this is how you show yourself that the mind is the creative power in man that the Bible calls God. God is the imagination. God is your consciousness, your awareness. That's who God is. Stop making God be something on the outside. It's not something out there. It's within. It's who you are. It's your very being, your awareness.
Hey, there was another technique I heard yesterday, like on a podcast. The guy was saying how your conscious mind will argue you down, right? Because it's attached to your 5 senses. So if when you're doing your affirmations, like I am wealthy, I am healthy, your conscious mind is like, no, you're not. But he said how he flipped it was he started saying it in question form. So he would say, wow, why am I so wealthy? Wow, why is my body so healthy? You know what I mean? Like asking it, kind of putting the conscious and subconscious mind on a task more so than just coming up with repetition of affirmations. You know what I mean? Just kind of like finishing it off with a question like, damn, why am I so wealthy? Wow, why am I so healthy?
All those ask formations.
Yeah. That way it's kind of giving it a job versus it trying to argue you down.
I like how Lady Gaga put it. You just keep saying, I am healthy, I am wealthy, you just keep saying it and keep saying it. And eventually, because it says that lie becomes the truth.
But like he said, you don't want just vain repetition. You know what I mean? So, which I think a lot of people fall into, where you just kind of repeating it and it just,
Yeah, you have to.
But like we know, you got to feel it, you got to believe it, you got to see yourself in it.
Absolutely. That's the supercharge. You have to do it with conviction. I mean, even in this book here, he talks about vain repetition. That's why
Well, now these internet gurus are going to say no. Robotic affirming works. Now stop it. They robotically affirm, and they know that it has worked for them. Like, no, they can vainly affirm over and over and over again. Because here's the thing. I'm not going to say that it doesn't work, right? Because yes, you can be mindless about saying something over again, right? And you can manifest mindlessly. We've all done it, right? Yes, but the thing is, is it sustainable? Because you hear people have come into my lives and say, oh yes, I got it, but I wasn't able to keep it.
Right.
Because they didn't become the person that had it. They were just all about getting the thing instead of being the person that has the thing, which is totally different.
Like he said earlier, it comes with limitations. Like, you know what I mean? So you might be able to get it, but then it might be.
Yeah, because you don't believe you deserve it. You just, yes, you hypnotize yourself for a moment, and that was okay. It came into your experience, but now you feel unworthy. You're trying to figure out how did it come? Why did it come? You don't understand it. Oh my goodness, it's too good to be true. So guess what? It becomes too good to be true for you.
Right. No money, no
when you're mindlessly affirming what you don't want, listen to this though. When you're mindlessly affirming, repeating something that you don't want, like, okay, that person doesn't like me. That person doesn't, but you're not saying it, that person doesn't like me. You're saying it with a conviction. Even if you're saying it mindlessly, you're not thinking about it, but
you feel it, you believe it. Yeah.
And you're saying it with present tense. You're not saying they're not going to like me. You're saying it as a matter of fact. You're decreeing it, and you're saying it with some kind of a conviction or feeling, like they like to call it. But notice, like when you're saying something, listen to somebody talk to you about something that they're complaining about. They'll repeat it a couple of times, but they're saying it with a conviction. So, I mean, I tried robotic affirming. No judgment. Hey, if it works for you, God bless you. It does not work for me. And I always say, well, Jesus didn't work that hard, so why should I?
Right. That part.
But I think that's what you said is the conviction part,
Yep.
you know. And I think religion kind of weakened us in that
Yep.
department. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we're supposed to command. We're not out here like Benjamin said earlier. We're not out here begging. We're not out here. That's how I used to
Right.
pray, please God. You know, but now
You know, and when you command
Yeah.
with conviction. When you want something done, you know, if you're a boss and you have employees working under you, you say things with conviction.
Right.
I need these files done by 3:00 because I have a meeting. Make sure I have this done, blah, blah, blah. Make sure you're here on time. You say things with conviction. So there has to be, you know, like hey, this is how it is. Like when you're like an expression, you're expressing yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and believe what you're saying as well. But yeah, I mean, yeah, Joy Noel, yeah, I mean, yeah, I was like, oh, Jesus didn't have to work that hard, so neither am I.
Yes. So chapter 8. Oh, he talks about the failure. He didn't take too long to get to the failure. I remember I read one of Neville Goddard's books. He didn't talk about failure till the end of his book. Dr. Joseph Murphy, he coming with it. He like, let's talk about the reasons for why you don't always actualize your desires, right? And he said the principal reasons for failure are lack of confidence and too much effort. Now the world would tell you gotta work hard, right? They don't, but what they fail to realize is when they stopped working hard and gave up the effort is when the thing manifested. Right. But you don't hear that when you hear like people that, you know, that are in the public eye, right? Whether they're someone that's an entertainer or, you know, or own a business or whatever, right? They'll tell you, oh, I sweated, I grinded, and, you know, and finally it happened. Finally it took off. But they don't understand that what finally made it take off was they stopped trying to force it. They stopped trying to make it so. That's what was preventing them from experiencing the thing they wanted, is because they were trying to make it a thing as opposed to realizing it already is. And so that's what we have to caution. Like he says, you will always fail to get results by trying to use mental coercion. Your subconscious mind does not respond to coercion. It responds to your faith or conscious mind acceptance. According to your faith, it shall be done unto you. Go ahead.
I was going to say, he says the same thing Neville Goddard says, right? He says, you must have a clear ideal in your mind, getting the feeling of the end result, not as failure, not as future, but as of now.
Yep.
Whatsoever you should ask in prayer, believing you should receive. I love how he always brings a scripture in. Boom.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, like Buddy said, all these damn techniques, you are the technique.
Right.
Got to let go of the techniques. The technique is your mind. That's all you need. That's all you'll always have. You'll always have your thoughts. Your thoughts are always with you. They go with you wherever you go. You're never gonna leave you may leave your sage behind, you may leave that crystal behind, you may leave that poster board and that journal, and you may leave all, but you know what you're always gonna have with you? Your mind.
You know what I was thinking about today with that, Toyia? I was thinking about how, okay, like you always say, right? You don't need all these things. You don't need a vision board, you don't need a journal, you don't need to meditate, you don't need none of that. But the way I'm looking at it is, that's the person, that's me being, right? So me being is disciplined enough to say I'm gonna meditate every day. My being is gonna journal. My being is gonna watch podcasts and read books that feed that part of me. You know what I mean? So we don't need it, but the person that I vision myself to be is that type of person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like you said, we don't need it, but that's just the vision I have of who I am. I am
right. Yeah, they're just permission slips, right? Until you increase your faith, which there's nothing wrong with it, right? Because we've all used them. eventually you start to realize that all you needed was your mind, though. You
Yeah.
know.
That's true. And Toya, as you said that, I have a chapter in my book. The less you try, the better you'll live.
Beautiful.
The less you try, the better you will live.
Oh, love
Because
it.
most people say and believe what they, you should have whatever you say if you believe, but then you start trying to make it happen. I got to get this job. I got to contact this person. I got to go over here. No, no, no. The less you try, the better you will live. All you do is just create it from your imagination and your thoughts and just wait and watch it come to pass.
That's the part people don't like, Benjamin. They don't like the
I
waiting part. They want it yesterday.
Right. This the microwave. This the microwave generation.
Because we have these you have these internet gurus,
Yes.
these internet coaches, and it sounds real good. I get it, because you see, they have all of the followers, they have all of
Right.
the likes and the views, they have all of these things, and so you're going by appearances. You need to learn to pay attention to what they're saying, though, because their words will defy them. When you listen to people long enough, you can look at the shiny stuff. All that glitters ain't gold, as they say, right? So pay less to what you see and pay more to what you're hearing, because it is by their fruit that you know, right? And you only gonna know them based on what you see on a screen, because you don't know them personally, right? You're not able to go into their life and see them every day. So you have to watch a few videos. You have to really listen to what they're saying, right? And see do their words always match, right? Because you have to be able to discern, are they just telling me this just because they want a one-on-one, they want a coaching fee, they want, and yes, these people that has built their platforms, I can guarantee you they didn't build them overnight.
Right.
It did not happen overnight. They did not think it last night and then bam, they woke up and they hit 200,000 subscribers. That's not how it happens. Everything is a process. Now, did they have it in the spirit? Yes, it's always done in the spirit. But in the third dimensional plane, there is a process, right? And this is where the Bible's telling you, don't grow weary in well doing. Yes, I know the Christ says, you say 4 months to the harvest. I say, look again, the harvest is ready, but the laborers are few, right? He's telling you that you still have to labor, which means what? You have to train the mind. You have to be persistent in the mind. That's where the labor happens. The thing you asked for is already yours, but in due season, there's always a season where you reap. And the season is now. But don't get so caught up in trying to rush the process.
Right.
You're here to experience the process, or you could have just stayed in the spirit. But it's the reason why you're in the physical form, to experience the thing we call life, reality, the process. That's the whole purpose of being in the physical. Don't lose sight of that. Learn how to be thankful for where you are. Learn how to be thankful for what you have now. Stop thinking that once you get the thing, that'll bring the happiness, and then you find out that you got it and you're still not happy.
And I can give you scripture on that. If anybody really wants comfort and don't have to seek and run after and hope and wish, the Bible says, don't glory in man, for all things are yours.
Ooh, say that again.
1 Corinthians 3:21. Don't glory in man, for all things are yours. And when you put that in your heart and in your subconscious mind, when you know all things are yours, you don't have to run after anything. You don't have to run after anybody, because everything belongs to me.
Yep. You don't have to worry about how to try to get.
No,
That's what we have
ma'am.
to get. That's the mindset we have to let go of, trying to figure out how to get it. If it already belongs to you, then you're just what? Allowing it to show up.
That's it. And all you do, and as Gigi said, gratitude. I'm gonna tell you how I function now. All I lay down and I meditate. I go into my deep sleep. Get ready to go into my deep sleep, which is going to be sweet. He already told me that.
Mm-hmm.
All I do is say, "Thank you, universe, for everything I've asked for and I desire. You already bring it to pass." I'm looking. I'm like I have. When you're looking for a bus, you have an outstretched neck looking for the bus to come. That's why I have an outstretched neck looking for what I've asked for to be show up.
Right.
Absolutely. Can you repeat that verse again? Where you found that? Where the verse is found at?
1 Corinthians 3:21, I believe.
1 Corinthians 3:21.
Yeah. 1 Corinthians 3:21. Don't glory in man. And they do that all the time. That's why you give the entertainers all the glory. They give people that they think have status. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna love y'all again. I gotta run. You gotta know. Most people are public successes, but have private failures.
Right.
Most people exemplify public success, but they are private failures. And they don't want you to see that part. They won't remove the mask. They show public success, but private failures. Look, how can a billionaire take their life because someone says they don't love them? That's what the billionaires did. Her husband had another woman and she killed herself. Public success, private failure.
Yeah.
It's like how you spoke about Toya with the gurus. Like I've been watching these cult episodes, right? And it's
Mm-hmm.
like the cult leaders, they got it figured out to a certain extent. You know what I mean? Like they got they might not label it subconscious or whatever, but they got it kind of figured out. And their thing is they're like, you need me, right? It's kind of like church. It's like you need me, and look up to me and praise me and da da da. And people are such sheep that, and they want truth. You know, people are looking for something. People are constantly looking. Everybody been looking for this truth. That's why religion and all these things are so easy to sustain, because everybody's looking for that. But these cult leaders, you know, that's what they do. They got hundreds of thousands of people who are just believing their every word, and because they see those people. They see the good that come, well, not even the good, but they see how much these people's belief system is about whatever they're saying. And it's so easy to follow, the same way with these gurus nowadays, right? It's so easy to follow because it's like, okay, this person got it figured out, you know? I don't have it figured out. They got it figured out. So I'm just going to follow him. I'm just going to stay with him.
And
Yeah,
it's like,
I caution any. That's why I say be careful of anybody that's telling you you need a mentor, you need a coach, you need a leader. Why do you need something outside of you if you contain all things? If you are the I am expressed, why do you need something outside of you? Yes, we like to come and be around people of like-mindedness, right? We want to come and help inspire and build up and uplift, but never be in the position where I feel like, oh, they need me, that I got it. No. That's why I make sure I withdraw when I feel like people are saying like, oh, Toya, yes, we no. I want to be very aware that it's not about me or me knowing something that you don't know, because that's not the case. I'm just your mirror. You just created me to populate your world to help you remember who you are. Not to say that I know, so I don't know no more than you. We all know the information, the knowledge, the wisdom is contained in everybody. Are there different levels to understanding? Yes. Are there different levels? But be okay where you are, because where you are is sufficient, right? Because this is part of your path. It's part of your unfolding. It's part of your knowing. That's what it's all about. So that's why I don't do one-on-ones and coaching, Because I don't know. Don't look to me. Look to yourself. Because that's the whole reason I wanted to know truth. To know that I don't have to keep looking outside of self. I don't need to keep looking to someone else. I understand any book that I read is a reflection of me. It's not a reflection of anyone else other than who I am. And that's the understanding we have to come to really trust and know who we are. And that the world is just our mirror. That's it. It's nothing more than that.
So yeah, that's so real. You really do that. Because I see that even when you have lives or whatever, like people they be trying to jump on you and you be like, I'm just a reflection of you. I love that, because that's what differentiates you from a cult leader. You know what I mean? Because you could easily twist
You're
that and
right.
be like,
That's it.
you need me. Yep.
Yep.
You need me every Wednesday. Jump on 7 p.m. or you're lost. Like,
Yep. And people, because what do they say? Power corrupts. It's a phrase. Because people love power. People love like being uplifted, and it does.
Somebody who sound like they know.
Real, they talk about the ego, and you get pumped up and proud. You have to be like, no, you have to realize that we're all one. And if we're all one, how is someone better than the other? How does someone have, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you place someone above you? Like I always say, a mirror looks you in the eye. A mirror doesn't look up, and a mirror doesn't look down. A mirror looks in the eye. When you look in a mirror, you look in the eye, right? So we're never supposed to be placing anyone above us or anyone below us. We're supposed to see ourselves in one another, right? We're supposed to be able to see God in everyone, regardless of what state they're occupying. Because it's just a state. But the true presence, the true essence of you is God. You're the I am in physical form. And so you have to constantly remind yourself of that. Because it is easy to get caught up in the hype. Right. People get caught up real easy. So you have to be.
Does it feel good? It sound good?
Yeah.
Yes, and that's always trying to tell you you're less than.
Mm-hmm.
That's how people manipulate everybody. You're less than.
But it's sad because it's too easy.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? It's
we
too
haven't
easy.
been.
Like,
we
people
haven't
are looking for that.
Brother Royal, we were told respect authority.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So that means you less than them. Now look up to them.
See, I already had a defiant spirit towards authority, so it was easy for me.
Right, and people like to give credentials, right? Well, I've been doing it for 15 years, so that's why you should trust me and believe in me, because I got proof. I've been doing it for 20 years, and so that's my credential. That's my evidence that I know this, that I got this. I don't care how long you've been doing it. That don't mean that gives you any authority over me.
Right.
I could just find out 6 months ago. So, and we're all on this journey together.
And that's why people need to really break down when you ask a person, well, who are you? They're going to tell you, I am Dr. Scientist.
Yeah.
No, that's what you do. That's not who you are.
Right.
And they use the titles to entice you. I am this. I am this. No, but who are you? That's what you do. But who you are is totally different.
I am that I am.
Thank you.
That's it. Like they say, I salute the divinity in you. What is that? Namaste. The divinity in me salutes the divinity in
you. But people don't want you to do that. We are the same. We are one. And if they really consider that, it'll change this whole universe. Yep. We are one. I can't dislike you because I'm disliking myself.
It's like the 2 commandments, right? When Jesus was like, don't worry about all that. Just focus on loving God with all your mind and all your heart, which is loving yourself, right?
Mm. Right.
Love your neighbor
and love.
So that just brings it all together. Like,
well, the thing with these cult leaders, though, it's repetition. They just repeat the same thing over and over and over and over. You go to church, and they repeat the same thing over and over and over and over and over. Jim Jones repeated the same thing over and over and over and over and over. I hate to mention this guy. Charles Manson repeated the same thing over and over and over. I hate to mention this guy, too. Hitler, propaganda, all over the place.
And
And you
check
can
this out.
Yes.
Charles Manson was telling them, "I'm Jesus." Like he,
and
you know what I
over and
mean? He
over.
understood.
Repetition. And so eventually, it's like a song. Okay, you'll hear a song the first time, like a Taylor Swift song. Ooh, look what you made me do. Look what you made me do. Okay, I hated that song. But that song was played on the radio so much that eventually I started liking it.
Yep.
Because I kept hearing that song over and over and over. There'll be a song that you'll be like, damn, I don't like that song. And then all of a sudden you'll like it. Like the new version of, I'm begging, begging you by the Four Seasons. The new one. That's you know what, TikTok made me like that song. Everywhere I went on TikTok, that song was playing. And now I like it. Why? Because repetition. Repetition. So now flip that. Do the same thing with your desires. Do the same thing with the good, the things that you want in life. Repeat it over and over and over and over. At first, you might not like it. But the more you do it, eventually you'll start liking it. The power.
And appreciation is key, right? Gratitude, thankfulness.
Oh,
That's
yes.
right. You gotta learn how to appreciate life, appreciate where you are, appreciate, right? And there's so many ways for the universe, for the I am, to show you the appreciation of who you are, right? And that's why you don't have to ask anyone for anything. The things will just come to you when, like they say, when the student is ready, the teacher appears, right? And it's not the teacher's not outside of you. That's what you have to understand. The teacher is what? Is the comforter, is the spirit of truth within you, right? Because we're not separate. We're just figment of one another's imagination, right? We're just illusionary beings having this human experience. Like they say, even science has confirmed that nothing is solid, right? Everything is just has a rate of vibration that's undetectable by the eye, and that everything is just always in motion, always in movement. Nothing is ever at rest. Even when your body may appear to be at rest, it's always constantly vibrating, right? So we just when you see life, when you look at your world, just say that's me. That's me. That's
Go
who
back
I
to the
am.
mirror thing.
That's I am. Yeah.
There was a part about this mirror. I don't think it was in the book. It was somewhere else. But he was talking about, like, if you don't like the reflection that you're seeing in the world and you trying to change the world, that's like looking in the mirror and you smiling and you're trying to take the smile off the mirror. You know what I mean? Instead of taking it off the mirror, you got to change yourself. You got to take that frown or whatever off your face, and then the mirror will reflect that. So it's
Right.
like, just constantly working on self, and then the world will reflect that versus us trying to change the world. You can't wipe off the smile on the mirror. You gotta work on self.
Yep. It's an inward job, and I know some of like Neville Goddard. He kind of perpetuated this thing of somebody else can do it for you, right? Because his whole thing was manifesting for others, right? People calling him while he at dinner and calling and coming, and he's taking meetings different, and he's manifesting. So that kind of made people dependent on other people. That's not what the Bible is teaching, though. The Bible tells you every man is rewarded for his own work, right? And so you got to be cautious. Even some of these teachers that we revere, he still made people dependent on others. And you're not supposed to be dependent on another. You're supposed to what? Find the answer from within self. Right. The answer is in you, and you don't need anybody else. As much as I love his teachings, I don't walk lockstep with everything he did, because I'm not trying to be Neville Goddard. Don't be calling me with your problems and asking me to manifest for you. I'm going to ask you to use your own mind, apply this knowledge just like I did. I'm going to touch and agree with you. I'm going to believe with you. But I'm not trying to manifest for nobody else. Everybody can manifest for themselves. The power is within you. You have the power. You are the power.
I got
Yes. Oh, thanks, Benjamin, so much for joining us. I appreciate you. Thank you. You got to learn how to be self-reliant, right? And of course, we always want to think the best of us, because here's the thing. This is what's so interesting about that, is that What you think about others, you're really thinking about you. What you're giving to others, you're really giving to you, right? Because there's no separation there. There's no separation. And so he reminds us of Psalm 19 and 14, which said,
No, that's true.
let
There
the
is no
words of my
separation.
mouth, the words of my
It's
mouth, the
all
meditation of my heart,
it's all
be
one.
acceptable in thy. Can you hear me?
DG, mute your mic, please, sweetie.
Then let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. So he breaks it down for us, right? He said, let the words of my mouth, which is your thoughts, mental images, and the meditation of my heart, your feelings, your nature, your emotion, be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, which is the law of your subconscious mind, my strength and my redeemer. The power and wisdom of your subconscious mind can redeem you from sickness, bondage, and misery. Showing you that you have everything that you need. Everything you need is contained within you. You never need to go outside of you, ever. You don't need to look for another, because the answer is found within.
I like that because in religion, it always kind of promotes the if two or three touch and agree, and you need some covering, or you need some type of religion permission slip per se. But just to know that you can just go self mode, it definitely brings another accountability to really what we want, right? To knowing that nobody else is in charge of our, whatever our perspective of the 3D, and then knowing what we need to know in the 4D is really up to us, and nobody else can dismay what that is. So the faith, just bringing in the faith of I need somebody else to, be a part of my vision or my mission. It's going to happen regardless, and to walk it out.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a conduit of that, of just that representation of having to, but you don't know when you're by yourself sometimes, because your head is down, or you're dealing with so much different transitions or exposures. And so I was in a I was in a prayer circle, not a prayer circle, but with a particular group, and they were praying, and it was like for me, I just have to kind of like separate myself, because it's like, Lord, we just need we need this and we need that, and Lord this, and so being with this group allows me to know who I am, because we see that I don't care how religious people think they are, bishop, minister, to I've done this accolades or I've done that accolades, they still don't know. And so I really feel like this group honors self, because like Gigi and everybody else said, they manifested this particular community. And it just so happens T is in the midst of it. T has definitely formulated where we're able to regain or calibrate and realign ourselves to our natural or original intent. Because, these people will definitely have you bamboozled, right? And thinking that, we have to follow somebody, or we need some type of somebody to elevate what we want, or to be able to give us what we want. It's so free to knowing that I got me.
Yeah.
Y'all don't, and hopefully, by the end of this session, everybody will know that you got you, and that you're the only person that you need to rely on, and that your inner conversation is prayer, right? Your prayer is not you getting on your knees. Your prayer ain't, all of this other external things. It's all internal. So I just definitely appreciate us, the family, Prosperous Living, and just being able to reiterate and break down these elements that make us up, that make up us, because we're nothing but gas, nitrogen, and oxygen in all reality. We just have a spiritual concept to us that we're really elevating. And so I definitely appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. I
That's
appreciate that
powerful.
too. And yes, because we have to get
Powerful.
out of the savior mentality, right? And I think that still kind of is dormant within, or latent within this just in our experience, people want to feel like somebody needs to be saved, right? Somebody wants to be Captain Save a person. And that was not the purpose of the ministry of the Christ. He was not trying to show you how to go save others. He was telling you how to what? Save yourself, that the power was within you. It wasn't about the power being in another. It was about the power being in you. He said, I of my own self do nothing, right? But it's the Father, it's the I am, it's the consciousness within. That's who's doing the work. So be more discerning, be careful of those who wants to take credit. I did this, I did that, I did this, I did, and in reference to other people. That's what I mean. When people are trying to say, well, I'm the reason why you got, I manifested for you. I manifested. No, hold up, slow down, slow your roll. There's only one power, and that power belongs to all, right? The power belongs to all.
I was gonna say to Antoine what you said to A-Town, like two or more touch and agree. I think that's a religion concept where they try to make us think like Toyia saying, we need a savior or we need something outside of us to confirm whatever we got going on. But then in the book, he said, if two of you shall agree on earth, it shall be done by the Father in heaven. And that's from Matthew. But that's not two people. That's like two within us, right? So our thought and our feeling getting on the same page. Our desire and our imagination getting on the same page. Our ideal and our emotion getting on the same page. The masculine and feminine within us getting on the same page.
And the conscious mind agreeing.
Yeah.
Right. Your conscious and subconscious.
Coming to agreement, yeah.
And that's why the Bible is always talking about marriage. If you look, like I said last time, they always go into a wedding. There's always some wedding happening. It's that marriage of those two things within us becoming one and seeing this vision or desire as one. Not us and some pastor or us and some cult leader, us and some guru, It's all within us.
Yes. What Janine say, one day we're going to sit on the beach together and reflect on this. Yes. Go ahead, A-Town, sorry.
Just reiterating that was good. Yeah, I like that too. Sitting on the beach, sipping some pina coladas, talking about the foolery.
Right, because this should all be about us elevating our minds, right? That everybody is realizing their desires, right? And that we're maintaining that mindset of completed. That is completed, right? That is already done, right? That we're lifting one another up. We're inspiring one another to greatness. We're reminding one another of who we are. That's all it should be about. I'm reminding you of who you are. You're reminding me of who I am. That's it. Because we are all connected. There is no separation. We are all the divine, individualized, right? And so that's what it should be about. It's not that we're coming here to learn. We're coming here to what? Remember.
Right.
Do you remember?
All right. Remember the time.
What it was like to be a god.
Yes, that's a remember you talking about. I was thinking of Michael Jackson. Do you
That's what I thought too.
remember the time? Well, okay, I know what you're talking about.
Fire.
Yeah, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Okay, yes. Yeah, because that's what it's all about. Just remembering who you are. We've awakened out of our sleep. And so we're sharpening iron, right? We're just ironing one another. We're helping one another sharpen our skills of self-mastery, right? Disciplining this mind. Disciplining the 12. Disciplining this mind. Disciplining the 12. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, but this community.
And then you can give the love, the patience, the joy. You can be the light. Patience, the joy. You can be the light, right? You can be the light in a dark place, right? You're letting your light so shine, and people are like, oh my goodness, how are you so happy? How are you so, oh my goodness, all these things going on in the world. What do you got to be so glad about? How are you flourishing in this recession? How are you flourishing in this inflation? How are you? You're like, because I got joy on the inside. I know who I am.
That's right. Just knowing who you are.
That's it. We're just supposed to be the light. We're the light that's casting in the dark place, right? Which is light is what? Darkness is really what? Ignorance, right? That's what darkness in scripture represents. Those who don't know who they are. That's what the Bible says. My people perish for what? Lack of knowledge. People don't realize their desires because they don't know who they are.
He had an example in the book where he was talking about if you're walking on a plank on the floor, you walk on it with confidence, right? If you put the same plank 200 feet in the air, the thought of fear becomes more dominant. So like we were talking about, like two or more coming together, right? So at that point now, you have fear that is jumped in. So now your more dominant thought is fearful versus the confidence that you had when it was on the floor. So now you're gonna be off balance, you might fall or whatever, because it's gonna go off of your more dominant thought. If the two within us agreed that I still got this, I just walked on this on the floor, I got this, you'll walk right through that plank. You know what I mean? Right on that plank with no problems.
Yeah, you didn't let circumstances be the determination, right?
Right.
Because he said, oh, I was on the floor, that was one circumstance. Now it's in the air, that's another circumstance. So we made the circumstances different when they're actually the same.
Right.
It's still the same straight line. It's still the plank. But we said, well, this one is no longer on the floor, though. So we made the circumstance be the reason why we couldn't achieve it. Man.
Well, it
And
was
circumstances
T.
are-
It was T who spilled the tea with the two becoming one. With two or more agree, that God is in the. Which I like that
we
because,
couldn't hear you.
before I even knew that,
Hey,
I
Gigi.
would say, okay, yeah.
That went out for a minute.
I would say, well, Jesus agrees with me, so there's a 2 and 1 right there. So, but yeah, it's good to know that it's your conscious and your subconscious mind.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
That's it. So just make sure that we're not trying to make anything, have no efforting, right? The effortless way. We're just supposed to surrender to the desire, right? We're not trying to figure out how to make our desires manifest. He reminds us that mental coercion or too much effort shows anxiety and fear, which block your answer. Easy does it, right? And so that's why a lot of people are like, well, how do I let go of the anxiety? How do I let go of the fear? You have to stop thinking about it. That's what's going to make it. That's what's going to set you free. When you stop worrying and think, then the anxiety and the fear dissipates. But the more you try to force yourself to believe it, the more you're working against yourself. There is no force necessary. The moment you asked, it was answered. It was given to you. The moment it dropped in your mind that this was something you wanted to experience and you made it real to yourself, that was all that was required of you. That was it. There was nothing else required of you than to believe you already received it. That's your only condition, to make yourself believe you received it. And so how do you do that? You give thanks for it. You can create a scene that indicates you already have it. You want the car, buy the key fob, right? You want the new house, get packing boxes, right? You want to be married, sleep on one side of the bed that indicates that partner is laying next to you. Do something in your world that solidifies the truth of your desire, because that's what all comes down to. Can you believe it's already yours? Because once you believe it's already yours, it shall be. Yes, be still. Yeah, and sometimes and I'm saying do things outwardly, but we know those things aren't necessary, right? Because it's really your word. The moment you said I'm married, you're married. The moment you said I desire marriage, it's a done deal, right? Now you're just supposed to just let the person show up. That's really all you need to do, is once you say, oh, I desire marriage and I know I will make a great partner. That's it. You're married. But then
But it
people are
helps.
like, go
It
ahead.
helps. No, I was gonna say it helps to do what you just said. You know, sleeping on one
Right,
side of
right.
the
Because
bed or
we feel
whatever.
like what? Because the
We need
conscious
that
mind
confirmation.
says, I have to
Yeah.
work for it though.
Right.
The conscious mind doesn't accept that all I had to do was ask and that was enough. Because that's what scripture says, right? Asking and shall be given.
Right.
Seeking you
I
shall
think,
find. Knocking the door shall be open.
yeah, you had what you're mentioning, T, is really a reflection of like really who we are. Like when you really depict on what desire is that unction that wants changes. It's the ripple in our whole universe that wants to acquire. And once we realize what the desire is innately in us, I think we fall more in line with what that really means because it's already done once we desire it, and we don't take ourselves to the gravity of what we really are, in life. Like us desiring something is already manifesting. We are manifest machines, right? And so I really just enjoy just the concepts and even certain things of repetition. However, the repetition allows you to see things from different angles. As they mentioned, like Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John is just not four different experiences. Something like, well, they said it's not just four different timelines, but it's four different perspectives of the conscious mind. And so I'm really just like loving just digging in and kind of rebuilding and restructuring, the makeup and just understanding more of who we are. And it's like, so, yeah, it's so cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, and we just have to remember that we're God. And what does God do when he creates? He says, let there be, and it was. That's what we have to remind ourselves. God just spoke it into being, and it was. That's what we're supposed to be, imitators of God as dear children. Well, how do we imitate God? God speaks. That's it. God doesn't go work to make something grow, right? The acorn is the oak tree, right? It already is the thing it's supposed to be. The life germ is in the seed, right? No woman makes a baby grow in the womb. We're not making that happen.
Right.
And that happened, the life germ, right, is in the seed. So that's what we have to remind ourselves. There's nothing to do. There's only to be. We just have to constantly remind ourselves of that. As Janine said, be still and know that I am God. I am the creator of my reality and what I speak. Abracadabra, right? I am the master magician. What I speak, I create. It really is that simple, but the reason the man like, nope, it cannot be that simple. Let me complicate it. I need a technique. The speaking is not enough. I have to add to scripture. I have to condition my desire. We got to get out of.
Would you say that is? It says nothing to do, always to be.
Yep. Nothing to do, only to be. Because when you become the person, you'll naturally do whatever is required to bring about the desire, right? So when you say that whatever you're saying, I am, right? So if I say I'm a content creator or I'm a sharer of this truth, then I'm going to come up with ways to share this truth, right? So I'm going to create content on TikTok. I'm going to create content on YouTube. And guess what? It's not a strain. It's not a struggle. I'm not, oh my God, I can't believe I got to make a video on TikTok. Nope. I'm not doing that. I'm not, oh my goodness, I can't believe I gotta go make this video on YouTube. Nope. It comes with ease. It's effortless. I enjoy doing it. Like even when you think about the grace, like I loved Michael Jordan back when he played for the Bulls. Oh my God, 6 championships, yes. So I rewatched the last dance, right? And you listen, I watched his videos, clips of him talking and speaking, and he was being interviewed by Oprah in the height of his championships, and she's asking him about, did he always know he would get it, and did he kind of chase it? He was like, no, if I chase it, I wouldn't have gotten it. He said, I put in the work, and because I love the game and I put in the work, it was bestowed upon me. Had I chased it, I never would have got it. Right. And did you see how they talk about him even to this day? they still call him God. They say that wasn't Michael Jordan playing basketball. That was God playing basketball.
Thank you so much, DM Real. Thank you. Yeah, I love how a lot of the people in sports, you notice how they use visualization. They do visualize the game. If they're baseball players, sliding into, home, getting the championship. If they're golf players, they visualize hitting the ball, hitting the tee, um, and affirmations. Like they say, I'm the winner of that championship game, or our team won. They use a lot of affirmations and visualization. Because I've read, like, even in the book, Claude Bristol's The Magic of Believing, talks about golf and how the golf player would visualize hitting the ball way across to the other side where the tee is, and making a hole in one by just visualizing and visualizing and visualizing it. And then when he does it, he hits a hole in one each time. And it's the power of your mind. I mean, the mind is very, very, very powerful. I mean, it's like the more I'm learning about it, the more wowed I get. And I'm like, yeah, give me more, bring me more of this stuff. I'm enjoying this ride. And I suggest everybody do the same thing. Enjoy the ride. Have fun with it. Laugh. Sometimes you'll be like affirming and talking about your desires and giving praise or just meditating on them, and you'll start laughing. You'll start feeling good. That's okay. Let that be there. There's nothing wrong with feeling good.
Yeah, I think having fun is a major key to it. I've been married now for like 3 years, and I'm like the head of the household, right? So sometimes I catch myself getting real serious, and I gotta like ease up off of that. As soon as I gotta ease up off of that,
Ease on
everything
down.
flows. Yeah, but sometimes
Ease on down, Royale.
I constantly catch myself. Yeah.
Ease on down, Royale.
I need that playing in the back of my mind. I need that soundtrack playing throughout my day.
Whenever you feel like you're anxious or something, let that song be in your head. Royale.
Yeah. And then remind yourself there's no such thing as getting it. Get out of the mindset of always getting it right, because you can never get it wrong, right? Like Abraham Hicks would say. And there's no such thing as failure. I like when Kobe Bryant talks about failure. He's like, there's no failure. There's no, okay, you didn't do it today, but you got tomorrow. You got the next time, right? Michael Jordan said he didn't focus on not making the shot. He was like, he didn't care about not making it the last time. He's in the present moment of now. It's about what am I doing now, right? So that's what you have to, because when you experience, you have to look at life as an experience and not life as a right or wrong. That's the mindset we got to get out of, thinking that life is right or wrong. Life is an experience. That's what it is. And you're just experiencing life from moment to moment to moment. You're always in the eternal now. You only have now, and that's all you'll ever have is now.
And in this chapter, he talks about that. Not to, your failure will get results. Not to say things like things are getting worse. I will never get an answer. I see no way out. All that does is create after itself, because the subconscious is not saying, you really don't want that. It's going to say, okay, yeah, things are getting worse. Yeah, things are hopeless. It agrees with you no matter what. So you flip it. Things are getting better. I know the answer. There is hope. There is good. There is abundance. There is opulence. Opulence is my new word. I'm using that one. I like the sound of it. Opulence. It's so pretty. It's pretty. Opulence.
Hey, look, even in was it John or Genesis or whatever, everything God created, after he created it, he was like, and it was good.
And it was good. Yes.
Yeah.
It is
I was like,
good.
yeah, that's powerful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, just and I love that that you mentioned Kobe Bryant, you mentioned I can't think of his name now. The guy that played for the Bulls. What's his name?
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan. Thank you. And of course, Muhammad Ali. Talk
Hmm.
about
Oh,
self-concept.
yes. I've been seeing a lot of
Talk
his
about belief
videos.
in thyself. I mean, and I'll be quoting him too. I'll be saying, "Oh, I'm so pretty. I'm so pretty. I fly like a butterfly. I rise." You know, I mean, I'll be quote. I mean, the guy had amazing self-concept. Even when he lost a fight, he would say he won. He's like, "I won because see now I know his weaknesses. So the next time I see him, I'm gonna take him down. I'm gonna beat him so bad his grandkids are gonna be born bruised." You know, things like that.
And look, I say that about Trump also. Love him or hate him, when you hear
Oh
this
yeah, I
dude
love me
talk,
some Trump.
this dude talked his way to the presidency. He might get
Yes,
it 3
he
times
did.
the way he talked. He
Yes,
might get
he
it 3
did.
times. Yeah,
Yep, yep, he did.
he talks
did.
that shit. Yeah.
Yep,
And
yep.
even wealthy people, you never hear a wealthy person ever talk about how hard it is, or you know, you never hear a wealthy person talk. I mean, watch some Real Housewives of Orange County or whatever. I mean, I don't know why the heck they fight with each other. I think it's for the show, but you never hear them talking about any problems or whatnot. It's all about their wealth. And,
I'm glad you said that, Gigi, because that's what I was meditating on this morning. I'm like, it's about having, what type of problems do you want? I'm like, I have wealthy problems. What are wealthy problems? My problem is, am I flying private or I'm flying first class? My problem is, what am I having for dinner tonight? That's like, what dress am I going to wear to this, this gala or this event? Those are the only problems I have. Trying to decide what I'm going to eat tonight, if I'm going to stay in or go out. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the mindset we have to be in. What type of problems do we want to focus on? Right? And have wealthy problems.
I never say more money, more like no. I say more money, more money. Like
Right.
Jay-Z says more money, no, I say more money, more money. I mean, I'll be hearing the songs. They'll be saying it with like, Mom, I'm like, oh, more money, more money. Oh, more money, yeah, more money. Look at that, more money.
All right.
Yeah, no matter how you're feeling, no matter what you're feeling, if you're feeling happy, sad, mad, whatever, speak what you desire.
Yeah.
You know, oh, man, I always have money. This bill, God, I have money to pay this bill. You know what, bill, come, because I can pay you. I can pay you. I got money.
I mean, here's the thing with the wealth. Are you really concerned about bills? No, you're not. That's not even in the forefront of you. Like I said, you're wealthy, so all that stuff is taken care of. Your thoughts are, which car do I want to drive today?
Exactly.
Your thought is, where do I want to go to travel? Where do I, start thinking along that mindset. Like, where do you want your thoughts to go? How do you see here's the thing, when we talk about, like what Benjamin was saying earlier about those who talk about, what would you do if you won this money, right? So that's how you need to be thinking. What are your thoughts now that you are the wealthy person? It cannot be that you have the same thoughts that you had as somebody that was struggling or just had enough. Those are not your thoughts anymore. That is being the person that you said that you are, having the thoughts of the person that you say that you are. You can no longer think the same way as the person that you're not.
I think that gets the conscious mind in tune, when you move like that. Like, I got enough money to give this person $1, or whatever. I got enough, when you move like that, you're training your 5 senses to get on board,
Yes, Joy Noel says, I got rich people problems, and the only way to solve it is to keep getting rich. That part.
I love it.
So that's what it's about. It's about changing the mind, right? Because everything starts in the mind. Everything starts with their thoughts. So now, what should your thoughts be? Your thoughts should be of health and wealth and success and joy and peace and love. So that's what your thoughts should to stand from. That's the standpoint you should be living from. Not having just enough, but having more than enough, where you're helping your family, your friends, however you see your life. Speak from that standpoint. Live from that standpoint. Think from that standpoint, right? You're no longer the person that's struggling through life, that has hardships, that's trying to figure out how to pay an electric bill or pay a mortgage. No, that's not who you are anymore. All your bills are paid. Everything, you have money overflowing. So now think from that standpoint, and then watch life shift itself to meet that state.
Right. I agree.
So that's the homework as we about to end this live. Think about who you truly are and what thoughts that version of you would be thinking, and then think from that standpoint, right? Who do you say that I am? And so now, how does that person think? And practice thinking that way.
Yeah, I love that.
Yes. Say, I am living the shift. Yes, Neville the Goddess. So that's the homework. Because this is what we should be doing every day anyway. Right? That's living in the end, right? You're already the person, so how does that person think? How does that person speak? What is that person's daily routine? What is that person's conversations? Right? That's what you should be embodying. That's the shift. It's the shift in identity, right? That's the new creation. That's the new creature. Because now you are this person. Let's shift the identity up to that person. Be that state. Be it now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, as soon as I'm able to download it onto my phone, Delissa. So I know the last time it didn't take it long. I was able to do it in the same day. So we'll see how long it takes TikTok to download it onto my phone, and then I upload it to YouTube. But how are you, Delissa? Welcome. And
Hi, Delissa.
Taquasia. I hope I said that right.
That's a pretty name.
Thank you so much, guys, for joining. Yes.
Excellent.
Thank you. Great live. Great.
Yes. So we'll be doing 9 through. How many chapters do you all want to read?
I think it's cool the way we're doing it.
3.
Y'all do
3
9, 10,
is
11.
cool. Okay,
Yeah.
so 9, 10, 11.
Yep. I mean, I'm already at like
good.
16, but
What is it, like 20? It's like 20-something chapters, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So we're on a good pace. We're on a good pace. So yes,
Yeah.
go subscribe to the YouTube. Come over to Facebook. Guys, let's try to make Facebook a little bit more interactive too. During the week you have questions or you have little aha moments, or we can help one another on this journey, uplift and elevate the mind to make sure we remain in the right state of the version that we say we are, right? We're healthy, we're wealthy, we're happy, we're wise, right? We're successful. We have more than we ever dreamed of. Life is such a great time to be, to be alive. Let's live from that state of knowing and acceptance and joy, all of it in that earnest expectation of greatness.
Yep.
Yes, joy, yes. For reasoning together. Yes. Oh, you don't have FBO? That's okay, Delissa. That's okay. I'll probably be back on here on Wednesday. I haven't decided what time, but just look out for me. I'll come on Wednesday and share with you guys. I'm thinking about doing podcasting, so we'll see how I know that I did start the podcast with YouTube, so I do believe you can find my TikTok recaps and some of my older videos through YouTube Music as a podcast. But I will be looking into seeing maybe getting on Spotify and other places, so we'll see.
Yeah, I like. I see you with the mic, with the podcast feel. That's a good look.
Yeah.
AI. I see you working that AI.
Yes. Oh, I love AI.
Oh yeah,
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes.
That's how you do it right there. That's how you do it.
Yes, buddy. I post regularly in my Facebook. I just want the people to share a little bit more. I want the get a little bit more activity from everybody else. I guess maybe if I post more questions, that'll get people more engaged. So, or maybe you guys could think of some questions that we could ask, pin to the group to get more people more active and more involved, and help one another on this journey and remain encouraged, and just know that it's already done. You're living your best life. Life is good. It's amazing.
Enjoy life.
Yep. Prosperous Living with Toyia. Yes, Prosperous Living with Toyia.
Joy.
Yep.
Be enjoy, laugh, have a good laugh. It's like the best thing ever. Have a
Absolutely.
good laugh.
So go get the free ebooks, link tree in the bio. Join Facebook. Facebook is Prosperous Living with Toyia. Subscribe to YouTube, Prosperous Living with Toyia. Thank you, Gigi. Thank you, Royal. Thank you, A-Town. Of course, to Benjamin. I know he left. Everyone that joined the chat, everyone that engaged within the chat, all that are here. You know, we are so grateful and thankful for you guys. We really do appreciate this platform because, you know, it's our time to shine, right? It's
That's right.
our time to shine. It's our time to have all our desires fulfilled. And the time has always been now. Thank you, thank you, thank you guys so much. Have an awesome holiday. Eat all those
Happy
ribs and
Memorial
rib
Day,
tips or whatever y'all
everybody.
do.
Happy Memorial Day weekend.
Yes, yes. Happy Memorial Day weekend. Absolutely. And until next time, guys. Peace,
Until next
love,
time.
and soul.
And opulence. My new word. Opulence.
Opulence. All right, guys. Bye-bye.
He says to do a little lullaby when you go to sleep. So opulence.
Bye-bye.
God bless you all. See you next time.
Okay, bye-bye.